Good day, my name is Timothy Halloran. I am an evolutionary astrologer, and in these videos we talk about the nature of the times. This is being filmed on Monday, December 23rd. We're closing out the year of 2024, and boy are we closing it out in an exciting way. So here in these videos we'll discuss what's going on in the collective. We're towing a line under a Capricorn New Moon, and as it oftentimes is immediately after Christmas, business, business, business. So let me cut straight to the chase. First things first, I am super thrilled and super excited to announce the 2025 Rosalila Healing Art Astrology Calendar featuring the work of Fionn Campbell Davis. Fionn's art is perfectly fitting of the astrology of 2025. She has an overall very Pisces feel to her art, where we will see the conjoinment of the moon's north node, Saturn and Neptune, all in the sign of Pisces in 2025. And this artist has a wisdom of the zodiac as well. As we can see, she has so effectively correlated her artwork with different zodiac signs. So it's going to fit the astrology of each and every month. And there's so much detail packed in this art. I keep discovering more every day. This is an amazing calendar. It's an advanced astrology calendar. It's got everything you could ever need. The moon sign every day, every planetary aspect, including the major asteroids, moons, nodes, solar eclipses, new and full moons. This calendar has got it all. And you can order it directly from the printer at the link below or in the video description. So folks, you can get this calendar for the new year. You can give this calendar as a Christmas gift. You can always write a little IOU or a little note. Hey, you've got a calendar in the mail, even if it's not literally in your hands by Christmas. Just saying, you could always IOU a Christmas gift. All right, now let's talk about it. What's going on? Astrology. So first, let me break this down. What these videos are speaking to is the collective. Are we as individuals the same as the collective? No, we're individuals. We all have unique experiences of life. And yet, are we affected by the collective? Are we affected by what's going on in the world? Are we affected by what's going on in the news? Does that have a trickle down? Absolutely. In fact, the more sensitive you are, the more you will be affected by the collective astrology, not just your own individual astrology. So this is a tool for those with great awareness. And this is validation, not only what we're experiencing, but why we're experiencing what we do. You can learn this to the very depth, to your own proficiency in my astrology school at rosalilacommunity.com, so you don't even have to take it from me. You can go straight to the source. That's God. Astrology is the source code. This is no man-made language. This is literally all astronomy. This is nature speaking for itself. And I think that there's a reality of electromagnetism that's going to be a part of our dawning awareness as we enter the age of Aquarius. But let's talk about the end of 2024, going into 2025. I'm meeting you on the eve of Christmas, and I'll talk to you about Christmas. Obviously, there's a lot more holiday-wise going on besides Christmas, but I am going to specifically speak to Christmas Day because it is an intense Christmas this time around. Now, interesting factoid. You may have heard something about the correlation between the holiday known as Christmas in the West or the United States and the phenomenon known as the winter solstice. Okay, so the winter solstice is the moment the sun enters the sign of Capricorn. That little line that we see on an atlas or a map called the, I forget, the line of Capricorn or whatever it may be, that is the ecliptic. That is the moment the sun enters the sign of Capricorn every year. So this was just a few days ago on the 21st. The sun has entered the sign of Capricorn. And on December 30th, we will have our forthcoming new moon at 9 degrees, the sign of Capricorn. So we're still in the Sagittarius lunation cycle under this Christmas week. And then we'll begin our Capricorn season, particularly this forthcoming weekend, the 30th, going into January. And we experience this every year to a certain degree, do we not? This is actually a part of the physics of what we are living. Again, the winter solstice is the origin of Christmas. So this is actually going all the way back to nature. And you may have noticed that there's this magical anticipation time to Christmas, which is Sagittarius season, and then Christmas hits and there can be this sobering back to work or back to reality, which is Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. Serious, business-oriented, time to get to work, time to take seriously what is our role to the world, society, and bigger picture. Okay, so we're taking that seriously, while at the same time, there is a tremendous introversion. There is a tremendous incubation that is taking place this winter time. Now, this happens every winter time to a certain degree, right? It's a natural effect in the northern hemisphere, of course, I'm talking about, because in Australia, it's the summer solstice, of course. But here in the northern hemisphere, there's this natural coldness and hibernation because of the natural seasons of things. But let me just stress that this particular year, 2024 and the beginning of 2025, there is absolutely this collective theme of retreat, of incubation, of turning away from the society. And I wouldn't be putting this video out here today if it wasn't my job, because I would be hibernating, I would be incubating. And this is Mars retrograde, just went opposite to Pluto is going to go opposite to Pluto, on January 3rd. So there's this tension of transforming the raw materials at hand. And then Mars retrograde moves back into the sign of Cancer on January 6th. Now, the way time works is it doesn't just happen all of a sudden once in the future. We can already feel what is unfolding in the future, right? Everything's actually interconnected. So there are points in time, and then there's also this flowing in between. So we're already feeling what is coming, this poling, this introverting, this withdrawing. And guess what? That has just barely begun, because when Mars particularly enters Cancer on January 6th, until February 24th, when Mars stations direct, we are particularly very much withdrawing within. And the overall evolutionary direction, we could say, of this particular Mars retrograde collectively is about getting to the safe space, the supportive group, the familial people, where we're actually supported emotionally to be ourselves, to share how we feel, and to be supported in our own feeling and digesting of emotions. This is, in itself, the most missing and needed medicine on the planet at this time, which is the zodiac sign of Cancer. Again, astrology tells us the what and why of everything. So we even understand in evolutionary astrology, via the planetary north nodes of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, all in the sign of Cancer, that this is the collective evolution of the species going on over thousands of years. We've had thousands of years of Capricorn military, religion, man-made society, forceful expectations and obligations, and get up and go to work, slam more coffee, eat more fast food, produce, achieve, accomplish. That's Capricorn. Now that's a part of the season with the new moon taking place on December 30th. We've all got this need to take seriously, and Mercury's transiting Capricorn January 8th to January 27th. That's where we take things a little bit more seriously. Those eyebrows come down a little bit more heavily the way they oftentimes are here. And Mercury and Capricorn can be genius. Mercury, Saturn people like Albert Einstein can really be the thinkers. So yeah, we're taking things really seriously, and this is an intense Christmas. 3 a.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday the 25th, Christmas Day, the moon moves into Scorpio. So everybody in the States and the West celebrating Christmas, moon in Scorpio, Christmas, just like how moon was in Scorpio on Thanksgiving. We have this intensity, claustrophobic, close corners, could be emotional, could be very debatey, depending on what type of family you got. I'm not sure what's going on. That same day, 1 a.m., the sun in Capricorn, quincunx, Mars retrograde. You know, that's tense. That's tense. That's like, you know, can be mechanical challenges. I know that day I'm waking up at 2 a.m. to drive for an hour and a half to fly out of the big city and send a little prayer to me, because I'm already, again, feeling that moment just a couple days from now, and I'm already fucking stressed as hell. But we'll pull through. It's a sign of the times. Now, Mercury is joining Jupiter and Saturn in a square. And Jupiter retrograde now is squaring Saturn 13th to the at 13 to 14 degrees Gemini on Tuesday the 24th. This is just tomorrow. And then Mercury is going to join this T-square, go opposite to Jupiter on the 26th and square Saturn on the 27th. So we're really experiencing this Jupiter retrograde now squaring Saturn, closing out 2024. And this can be incredibly philosophical. This is like, no, what are we really doing on this planet? This is part of the intention and question of Saturn in Pisces, which is going to be a theme throughout 2025. You can guarantee as well. You want to check out what house Pisces is in your birth chart, because that's where a lot of action is going to be taking place in 2025. Again, where the moon's north node and Saturn and Neptune are all transiting this forthcoming year. This is going to be the later degrees of Pisces in particular. We want to be paying attention to a lot of action taking place there. But again, this is like philosophical. This is like, what's the purpose? And what does this world need? And what is this world missing? And how can we educate this world? And this is, honest to God, what I have realized is the most important thing. It's not an education like the stupid biased schooling we get in childhood where it's math, science, English. No, we need an education on how to human. We need an education on what it means to be a human. My actual birth chart in my life is about partly disseminating astrology to give back to this world something that's missing, because at least 3/4 of people born in this Western culture are not even going to believe in astrology because it's not in Western culture. That's what my job is, actually, to bring this into our culture and society so it's working for us. There's more people believing in Santa Claus than there are people believing in astrology. And I don't want anyone believing in astrology, because this is a pure science. The proof is in the pudding. Astrology is 100% observation and correlation. That's it. There's no belief in this science whatsoever. So that's my job. That's why I'm working to land this. That's why I'm publishing a calendar. I want this to be accessible, and I want this to be validating your life, your experience, and what this reality is. That's what astrology is for. Souls who really want to know and really want to understand what is life. That is why I'm teaching at RosalilaCommunity.com. the astrology school. Now, very end of 2024, what's our last closing statement? Well, it's kind of astonishing. It's kind of amazing, because 2024 was like the year of Chiron. North Node transiting Chiron. We had solar eclipse join with Chiron in April. It was the year of bleeding out, initiation of the shaman, initiation of the warrior. There's been so much separation, so much individuating, so much cutting of cords. Not necessarily painless when we're talking about Chiron. And it's almost in direct relationship to how much we've gone through that process, how much medicine we have at the end of the day. Because I see all of these toxic positivity speaking bullshitters that think they're spiritual teachers, and all they actually do is shame the people that show up for them, shame them for having suffering, shame them for having feelings. No, what we want to do is embrace our feelings, even if they're painful, because that's actually how we learn, grow, and evolve, is by having those feelings inform us of what's true, of what's actually going on in reality. We have to feel. And if you're really awake and aware in this day and age, does everything feel good and comfortable in this world that has lost its soul? The human species has lost its soul. Western culture is completely lost. More people believing in Santa than astrology, So this is an astonishing phenomena of where we find ourselves in time. But what we're learning to do here is to human. Astrology is a trail of breadcrumbs for humanity to return to itself. for humanity to understand what we are. What we are is mirrors and reflections of the gods. What we are is a fractal of the God. Chiron is therefore the archetypal part of ourself that reflects Christ and the reality of the wounded healer. This term was coined by the great psychotherapist Carl Jung, who observed the phenomenon where the most wounded therapists were oftentimes the ones that were the greatest therapists. And this is where he coined the term, the wounded healer is the healer. And it's almost in direct relationship to how much hell we've gone through, how much range we have to be able to effectively help others through their fire walks, through their pain spots, through their trip in and out of hell. And that is what I'm letting you know is the real trip here on planet Earth. Is that going to be a trip that most people have the courage or the confidence or the willpower to really get on board with? No. It's for the few and far between that are really sinking into it, that are getting into evolutionary astrology, that are tuning into me and my work and what this is all about. You can purchase my Chiron material. I will put it on sale once more at my store because this is some of the most valuable information you can gain from your birth chart. Where Chiron is in your birth chart is, first of all, where you're going to experience woundedness or brokenness that's going to initiate you on your journey of healing that can bring you full circle into being a gifted, talented healer yourself. Wherever Chiron is in your chart, that's where you find that magic. Wherever Chiron is in your chart, you can give what you have not received. Where we are broken is where the light enters, is the reality of Chiron. So this isn't superficial. This is incredibly profound stuff. And that's what we're talking about wrapping up 2024. It has been an incredibly profound year, has it not? Has this not been the year of the wounded healer? Has this not been the year of breaking down and resurrection? This is again why Chiron's the Christ planetoid. Everything about Christ's symbolic death and resurrection, whether you want to choose to see that as literal or purely symbolic, is real in the archetype of Chiron, who is stationing direct at 19 degrees Aries, Sunday, December 29th. So if you've got planets at 19 degrees of the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, Chiron's going to station and really affect those planets. We're going to feel that purge. We're going to feel that healing journey. And we can also begin to feel what's coming out on the other end of it, which is we bleed out, not in the overly sacrificial martyrdom, give yourself over to an evil person or stay in an abusive relationship. No, merely bleeding out via the awareness of being alive on this planet. And how damn depressing it is to actually see where the species finds itself in time. If you're awake and aware, this is a very real reality, and not one that we should shame ourselves for having, and not one that we should belittle ourselves or anyone else as if it is unspiritual to be depressed. I think it's unspiritual to say that we shouldn't be depressed. I think it's unspiritual to teach this toxic positivity. Okay, we need to honor our depression. We need to honor our feelings because we are in this total withdrawing, incubating, and rebirthing ourselves collectively process now through springtime. This is again reflected in Mars retrograde. Mars is going to station direct February 24th. We've got now through the end of February that there's this total reinvention and rebirthing of our own self-identity. Because can we really see ourselves accurately if we don't have a support system or a support group that healthily mirrors us back for who we actually are? Are we going to form a healthy self-image if we don't have healthy mirroring? So we need the healthy mirroring, we need the healthy reflections, we need the healthy support system. And this again is one of the most missing and needed medicines on the planet at this time. There's a whole bunch of incredibly wise, incredibly sensitive, incredibly gifted teachers and healers on the planet that have never been validated. Not till they talk to me. Because that's all I do every day, all day. To me, it just flows through. It's my job. It's easy. I barely think about it. And the people on the other end are brought to tears, are shaking, and have never been more validated than the words that I've said to them, even if they've had readings done their entire lives. And that's normal to me. That's what this is. That's what this does. This is real. This is life. This isn't me. I'm just the mailman. I'm just the mailman. I just translate what's already there. This is what we are and what we're made out of. So this is actually a profound Mars retrograde because we're talking about rebirthing ourselves from the inside out. And we're talking about rebirthing ourselves through creating the safety from the inside out. We have to do a little bit of reparenting here. We need to be the parent to our own inner child that is being the healthy guide and the healthy mirror that can discern the people that are safe and the people that are not. The people that are safe are the ones that can actually see, support, and recognize you for who you are. And I'm sorry to say that I believe that percentage of people is actually fewer than many of us may suspect. Because there is going to be basically 9 out of 10 people who talk more than walk. I'm here, I'll support you, I'll help you. Well, actually, a lot of people are only going to do what immediately benefits them. So who's really supportive? Who's really on the inside? Who's really a therapist? This is why Carl Jung said, the wounded healer is actually few and far between. The wounded healers are my friends. The wounded healers are my people. And you know, we are few and far between. And we all relate to each other because we've gone through hell. And we've come out on the other side as gifted healers and teachers. This is the wisdom of Chiron. This is the truth we can be seeing very clearly. That's been initiating a warrior, a leader, a pioneer in some way, shape, or form. Why? Because Aries is about daring to do what's new, what's exciting, what's different, as well as the need to protect ourselves. This is about defense, protection, which is why there has been so much necessary cord cutting for those who have been really aware and alive this last 12 months. Okay? So again, profound rebirthing taking place end of 2024 through the start of 2025. Because in springtime, that's when we're popping out a new baby. Mars goes retrograde opposite to Pluto Friday, January 3rd. Stations direct end of February and go opposite to Pluto again at the end of April 2025. That's when we're really going to start to see the new. Oh my God, is it going to be new? Oh my God, is it going to be different? Oh my God, could it be extraordinarily liberating? Because what we're actually liberating is the individual that we are. To be seen, respected, and honored for our actual individuality. So we don't have to hide or pretend or bend ourselves all out of shape unnaturally to fit some other person, their agenda, or society's skewed perspective of expectation and obligation. All of this is going to be going through the blender, and especially our creative souls, our spiritual souls, our charitable souls, our religious souls. We're especially going to observe. Watch for them. All of the above, the people I'm talking about. 2025, we're going to watch them all go through an incredible existential, what could be crises, searching, but ultimately coming out on the end of the day with a deeper sense of purpose. It's oftentimes the experience of disillusionment, which is actually probably the most painful experience that we as humans go through. It's the deep spiritual disillusionment, like who is God really? And can I really trust God? And am I really protected and safe with God? I'll be the first to admit right now, I am not feeling safe and I'm not feeling that trust. And that's just an honest reflection of what it is I have lived, what I have survived, what I have observed. Of course I have that feeling. But this is going to be part of the overall Neptune Pisces theme of 2025. How do we get that connection to something bigger than just ourselves? So that way we do feel supported. So that way the creative juices are flowing and we do have a meaning. We do have a purpose for being on this earth. It's not just to twiddle our thumbs or to go fishing or to have a vacation life or to just earn a bunch of money and play with yourself. This is about what are we contributing back to the bigger picture that actually fills us up with this deeper sense of purpose. Therefore, 2025 is actually going to be a tremendously creatively activating year. But it's going to drive a lot of people into this deep existential exploration of what is true, what is goodness, and how can we get on board with what is truly good so we can disseminate true goodness in this world that is evidently needing and lacking true goodness. This is again why Jupiter squaring Saturn this week can be debatey. And this Christmas time can be debatey, philosophical, because we're having these types of talks and we're having these types of disagreements. And it's like, going home to family and everybody's got a different political party, right? And there's Trumpsters and non-Trumpsters here in the States. And it's like, yeah, we're living on different planets. We're not even on the same plane of reality. And that's the truth. We're not having the same experience. We're not on the same plane of reality. This is the very foundational stuff of evolutionary astrology. Again, if you want to understand what and why is every single facet of your life experience down to the hair sliver, you can learn evolutionary astrology directly from yours truly at RosalilaCommunity.com. And please, folks, get the 2025 calendar. It's an awesome calendar. I can't wait to be holding it in my hands. There's so much detail in Fionn's artwork. And I like to have the 3D thing to hold too. I like to be able to see the astrology, not just on a computer and not just through a screen. And that's what the art astrology calendar brings straight to your home. Beautiful artwork that's channeling the theme of the astrology, as well as all of the technical astrology to validate your experience as you're actually having it. And I'm going to continue to be teaching that in the years to come, guaranteed. Moon stuff, simple stuff, but making astrology actually useful, applicable in our lives. And I'm especially working with therapists, because that to me is where astrology really hits the road in the way that can be most useful and spread most goodness. Is let's validate our actual healing journey in the most therapeutic, therefore supportive, and also holistic way. All right, this is no doubt a collaboration. This is no doubt we need all hands on deck. Anybody who is called to me or my work, join the community, wave your hand, let me know what you want to share, let me know what you want to give back, because that's going to be a lot of what we're doing, breathing in and rebirthing throughout 2025. And it only gets more exciting from there, trust me. So I look forward to continuing to be your mail delivery man. And I wish you the very best, whether you celebrate Christmas or anything, Festivus, whatever it may be. I wish you and your beloveds the very best. Please, as always, take care. And until next time, I'll see you in 2025.